All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to I'll name this segment later, GTG Spits That Grease, so on and so forth. I'm doing this in batches, so we don't really have a sponsor and whatnot. But if you guys have a particular name for the show and that you may want to, if you have a suggestion, by all means, leave it down in the comment section, and it might actually make it into one of these future broadcasts. We'll have to wait and see. But it may very well make it, to be honest. So big ups. So if the title hasn't given me away yet, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to talk about DSP and his narrative, which isn't an old narrative, to be honest with you. It's not a new one, I should say. Is his whole popular for the sake of being popular nonsense that he's basically preaching, and how he threw Wings of Redemption into that situation because he's playing off of Wings' insecurities, which are actually DSP's insecurities as well, and just his overall thought process as it pertains to it. One, and let me be very clear about this when I say this, DSP was not popular, okay? He was a loudmouth on the internet that played games poorly but quickly, and that was it. He wasn't the best option. He wasn't a good option. He was a convenient option for what people were looking for at that time. End the story. At least that's the way I see it. So that's his problem there. DSP likes to sit here and tell you guys that he puts out meaningful content. He puts out useful content. He puts out constructive content. He puts out quality content. The truth is, it's none of those things. It's none of those things to even himself. Because DSP doesn't watch back his own garbage unless he's checking on the ads. Other than that, he's not watching his own shit. If you can't watch your own shit, then how are you going to tell someone else that what you do is good if you're not willing to watch it yourself? So that's the first thing. The next thing, and I noticed this, he's been on Wings about this actually the last few times, or the two times that they spoke, is Wings' insecurity and delusion, to be honest with you, about how he can do what Burnt Peanut does. He doesn't understand what the difference is. I'm talking about Wings here. Here's the reality on that. No, Wings, you can't do what Burnt Peanut does. You never did do what he did, and you never will, to be honest with you, especially not now. You know what I'm saying? You need to get your ass back on your Lexa Pro or whatever it is that keeps you docile and just shut the fuck up. But the reality is that you can't do it because you're not brave enough to stand up on the consequences that will come with that. Ladies and gentlemen, does freedom of speech exist? Yeah. There are consequences behind what you say, though. If I run around saying crazy ass shit about Asians and whites and all this, that, and the third, yeah, I can say it, but I'm going to have to deal with the consequences that come from that. That's why that whole concept that people like to have of, oh, it's just an edgy joke or edgy humor. It's all edgy. It's all supposedly edgy and just a joke and shit until motherfuckers start getting called racist or anti-Semitic or whatever. Then all of a sudden, everybody want to fall back. I'm just saying. I never understood that whole cope about, oh, it's just edgy jokes. It sounds kind of gay. Just say what you mean and then stand behind and then stand 10 toes on it. If not, then shut the fuck up because you just sound like a coward. That's the reality of it. Look at the commentator community now. Nick, Augie, and all them guys. Those guys were edgy as fuck 2 or 3 years ago. Now look at them. They're all buck broken. They all just want to go ahead and do what they can not to get canceled, basically. And because they don't have strength in numbers anymore, they're basically just toting the line. And most of them over there are starting to become trans, or they already are trans. So make of that what you will. So some of those same guys who did all those edgy ass jokes, now they're starting to become trans. Think about that. Think about that. Really take that in, because no one really wants to say anything on that. But think about that. Anywho, DSP's delusions, the DSP's approach about popularity, or his ideas, his ideas on what popularity is skewed. DSP cheated the system on YouTube early on, right? For those of you who know, you know. He cheated the system. And so everything he did was manipulated and theoretically manufactured. He was never popular. He took advantage of a system that was in its infancy. Like, he molested the system, which shouldn't be a surprise given what he did to Panda. So that really shouldn't surprise none of y'all, to be honest. Yeah, and I said it and I'll stand behind that, because that's what he did. He takes advantage of things that can be taken advantage of early on, and he hopes that he'll reap the benefits of it in the long term. No one can argue that. If you really want to debate me, though, I'm open for it. But you can't argue that, to be honest. The early YouTube system is no different. And he had a run a short one, 3 years maybe, and that's it. And he hasn't been shit since, because he was never shit from the beginning. That's the reality of it. That's legitimately the reality of it. So now, when he looks at people who are popular, who become popular, he looks at it as, oh, it's all manufactured, which means that it can be manipulated, which means that it can be made out to be whatever you want it to be. He doesn't look at people who actually have any value to him, because he doesn't value people. But he doesn't look at what Burnt Peanut does as entertaining. He doesn't do that. And the reason why DSP don't do that is because DSP is not entertaining, and he knows he's not. So that's why he has to basically raise the bar on how much value that his content has compared to everybody else, because he can't do what everybody else does.
But for the fact that I put out the same amount of effort, right, into, say, the Resident Evil playthrough versus playing Slay the Spire, and then simply because it's Resident Evil, it gets the most views I've had in years on a playthrough, and then I play Slay the Spire, which is also virally popular, just like Resident Evil was, and almost no one watches it. But it's the same. It's the same effort. It's the same content, you know? I'm the same guy, the same gamer. Why did one get 10 times more than the other? Is there even anything that I can do about that? Probably not. You know? And the thing is, I think my only route to continued success is not to chase the big games. Because, frankly, the big games just aren't doing well anymore. Most of them suck. Can we be honest? Most of these big AAA games that have come out in the last several years just have not done well at all. Some of them are just underperforming garbage. They're slop. They're just another iteration of the same, or even worse than the last. Big budgets don't equate to success anymore. Capcom is actually the diamond in the rough here, where they put out Resident Evil Requiem and it didn't suck. It actually was a great survival horror game that was in line with Resident Evil. It hit it on all cylinders. You know what I'm saying? Like, most of these games that are coming out are not doing well. They're sucking. They're underperforming, and they're not worth anyone's time. If the future is indies, then I think I need to do that. I need to make a focus on that. I need to have people understand that the way forward with games is not to only play the big budget overhyped games, because they're just not that good anymore. All right? But that doesn't mean that I skip every one either. Like, I want to play the good ones. But I think it's more of, it's been such a long time that I have not played indie games, right? Haven't. It's been always a focus on AAA, because that's what was on consoles. So that's what I played over and over again. That there's just a group of people that come back to this channel whenever I play something big and hype. Like, for example, when GTA 6 actually comes out, whenever that may be, I guarantee you I will have huge views for GTA 6. There's going to be people who have not watched my content in years, and they're going to say, I want to see DSP play GTA 6, and they're going to come back just to watch that. And then they might not come back again for another 5 years. But that's how it is. People want to see the big titles and how I tackle them. The little ones are more for people who are big fans of mine, but they're not the mainstream audience. Do you understand? These are more the people that are going to come back every day because they just like me. They'd have me see me play Slay the Spire. They'll have me see me play a bunch of random indie games off Steam. They don't care what I'm playing. They just want to have a good time. So it's okay that a game like Slay the Spire isn't doing big numbers, but I just want to explain to you why it's not. Because it's not what the kind of people, like the casual viewer, isn't going to come in randomly and say, oh, let's see Phil play this indie game. They don't even know what it is. You know, that's a dedicated PC gamer knows what Slay the Spire 2 is. And that's okay. All right? It is. It's okay. But the way to success is going to be finding the stream audience that likes what I do and will be here to hang out and support me every day, as opposed to trying to chase the big numbers. This is, I hate to say it, this is what Rings of Redemption just doesn't get. Okay? Every day on his streams, he says, oh, I'm so upset because today on stream, I could only get like 200 viewers, and I'm really chasing 400 or 500. I can't understand. The viewership doesn't mean anything. Okay? It doesn't. It doesn't mean if you have 100, 500, 1,000, 10,000. It doesn't mean if you have 100, 1,000, 8,000, 20,000 views on a video. Okay? What you need is an audience that is happy, an audience that is engaged, is liking what you're doing, is interacting with you while you're doing it, and will then say, hey, because I like this so much and I'm having a great time, I'll support it. A business that has 1,000 happy customers will be more successful than a business that has 100,000 unhappy customers. That's just the truth. But that's what a lot of people don't understand when it comes to content creation. They just chase the numbers, and that is a dead medium of success. It is. There's very few people who are ever just going to hit big numbers and stay there and always be on top just for the sake that they're popular. They do exist. You got people like Burnt Peanut right now that are smashing it every day with views just because they're popular. They'll turn on the stream and be like, why is this popular? Because it is. Because somehow it got there, and now it's going to be there. But most of us are never going to get to that level. Instead, we have to strive to find that niche, that little corner, that little group that we can entertain and have a good time with every day. And that's what we got to focus on. Providing maximum value and entertainment for those who like us. Not trying to appeal to the masses, because guess what? I'm never going to appeal to the masses. The masses are brainwashed against me, thinking that I'm some kind of a jackass who isn't good at games, who just sits here begging for money all day. They all believe that because they don't watch the content. They just watch the highlight clip because they're ignorant. The masses are ignorant, okay? You're never going to please everyone. But what you can do is find those people who are willing to give you a chance, who are willing to see the real you, to actually watch the content you put out. And if they actually like it, focus on them, make them happy, success. That's how I'm crushing it right now. Exactly right. That's exactly how I'm successful right now. And that's what I have to keep doing. So, if I play Slay the Spire 2, and we're getting people on the stream, and the people are having a great time, and they're supporting the stream, then I'm going to keep playing it. I don't care that the video's got 300 views on them. Fuck it. Let the masses go watch the fucking guy who looks like a cartoon dancing around acting like a fool, and then they go to X and they laugh at a fucking dumb meme about me, and then they go to Reddit and little drool comes down their mouth, and then they start typing on Reddit and they look at the new news. Oh, this is what I'm supposed to think is news today because it's on Reddit. And then they go to Instagram and they watch some fucking influencer sell them product and they give money to an influencer, right? And then they go to fucking TikTok and they do a TikTok dance. These people are fucking monkeys. No one should care about them. There's millions and millions of them. They mean nothing. What I care about is the intelligent people who are watching me and actually care about me and want to be here every day to have a good time. People who have a few brain cells that fire every day and they feel like using their heads rather than just being a fucking automaton in a big construct that's just there to pump money out of them. You see? Smart people. That's the kind of people that I like spending time with. There just aren't a lot of them these days. Okay? So, for the smart people who actually like content for what it is, come on by and enjoy Slay the Spire 2 later in the week. There probably won't be a lot of us, to be frank with you. And certainly it's not going to be a mainstream appealing game like Resident Evil Requiem was. But I think we're still going to have a good time with it. And I'm going to continue to try to entertain that audience that's going to allow me to be successful. Okay?
If he was given even a slight amount of leeway, he would say, well, I understand why he's entertaining, but I could be entertaining too if people give me a chance. He never does that because he's not entertaining. That's the reality of it. And the reason why he actually give you a reason why people are popular. He can just say they're popular for the sake of popular because he doesn't know or he doesn't understand. He's not entertaining, right? He doesn't do or say anything that is thought-provoking or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And he doesn't do anything that has any that's really grounded in reality. It's just the blabbering and fucking meandering of a fucking disillusioned old man who believes he's more than what he is. And that's really all it comes down to. It's not any more complicated than that. Wings, on the other hand, it's not even so much about the money for Wings. Wings wants to have the large numbers and the popularity again because he wants to feel like his life means something. He wants to feel like he has some self-worth, and so he uses these arbitrary numbers to validate himself, just like DSP does. But see, DSP don't want to acknowledge that part. So he would rather go ahead and shit on Wings for that and then say, oh, well, if you just had an audience who really like you and who are really invested in you, Wings, and they give you, this small amount of money, you know what I'm saying? Or they pool their money together, I should say. And they give you that money, it shows that they appreciate you and they value you, Wings. That's what DSP's been reduced to. And now he's spending all this time trying to groom Wings, because that's what he's doing, He's trying to groom Wings into seeing things his way. And it's not going to work because that's not what Wings values. Wings' validation is seeing a bunch of people watching his streams, a bunch of people watching his videos, just like they did 15 plus years ago or whatever the fuck. But those days are long gone. There's not too many guys who are OGs who put the numbers up that they should. Most of them don't even post that much anymore. Shit, 402 Thunder, who's someone that I do enjoy watching quite a bit, he's barely posted at all this year, to be honest with you. And he was looking pretty consistent last year. He's been shaky over the last few years. He's got kids. He's got a house. He bought a boat recently. He's doing grown man shit. You know what I'm saying? His YouTube channel keeps generating money. He just posts a couple times a year so he can keep his monetization, and that's pretty much it. You know, he's not forced to do this. Another guy, Sally the dog, he hasn't been posting very consistently since like the end of last year, but he's got his sponsorships and endorsements and everything working out that he's found other ways to supplement his income. This is things that Wings and DSP don't understand because it's not made available to them because they both put out shit content. Non-tent, to be honest. So they don't understand that shit. And as it pertains to Burnt Peanut, for all the glitz and glamour that you see out of him, most of y'all don't see, well, they don't at the very least. They don't see the criticism. And there's a shitload of it. A lot of it's, you know, to be honest with you, a lot of it's fucking deserved, to be honest with you. But at least fucking Burnt Peanut is standing 10 shells, I guess. I don't know, whatever peanuts have. He's standing 10 shells on that shit and being like, hey, I said this, I'm standing on it. Whether you call him a shill, a sellout, a racist, or whatever the fuck, he's at least standing on it. So it is what it is. And neither one of these guys can do that. They can't even stand behind their own shit without making an excuse. So how the fuck would they be able to, you know, do what Burnt Peanut does? That's just the reality of the situation. It's not a sake of popular. No one is popular for the sake of being popular. There's clearly a reason why people like them. You know what I'm saying? And that goes for your favorite detractor's favorite detractor, or your favorite whoever in anything and anybody who makes content or streams. That's the reality of it. But when you look at Wings, and when you look at DSP, when you look at LTG, when you look at Rich, you know what I'm saying? They all had followings for a reason. At one time, people liked them for some reason at one time, and then people grew up and out of it. And DSP can't deal with that because he doesn't like it. He has abandonment issues. Wings does too, actually. Wings has massive abandonment issues. Not as large as DSP's though, but still pretty big. You see what I'm saying? And that in Burnt Peanut, yet again, and this is where Wings and DSP are really resentful as it pertains to the whole popularity thing, is they both look at it as, well, what Burnt Peanut has done or is doing, we've done at one time or another, and people shit on us, but they're not shitting on him. Sooner than later, they will. Burnt Peanut's not gonna stay on top forever. No one does, to be honest. Sooner than later, he's gonna have to answer for the shit that he's said and done. For right now, you can only push forward. Now, as it pertains to DSP, and then I'm gonna show you guys something. DSP's resentment, or his growing resentment for Burnt Peanut, like I said, is partially based on Wings and trying to manipulate Wings and making him believe that, oh, I'm on your side, but I'm already better than Burnt Peanut because I don't need all those people around me. I just need this small group that I can bleed for whatever they have. But also, DSP doesn't have another person who in the gaming sphere that he can go after like that. He's not going to go after Markiplier. Not like the way he used to. He can't go at Toby Turner. He's already stumbled and fallen and shit. Justine's still around, but he don't want to bring that shit up because people are going to throw up what he said about her all those years ago. About the only reason why she was hosting that gaming award, not reward. That's DSP's thought process. That gaming award show is because she was sleeping with half of the executives, and that's how she got the position. DSP doesn't want to answer for that shit. He don't want to answer for that shit at all. So now, I think, and he's not going to talk about PewDiePie because, PewDiePie lives in Japan now, I think? You know what I'm saying? He's got a beautiful wife, he's got a beautiful kids, he's got millions in the bank, and he can do whatever the fuck he want. He don't have to do the gaming shit anymore. Like fucking Keemstar told DSP all those years ago, he's won the game, so to speak. Because if you look at Keem now, I wouldn't say he's won shit, but whatever. You know what I mean? He's beaten the game. PewDiePie's beaten the game. DSP can't compare to him, so he's not going to say nothing about PewDiePie. But this burnt peanut fella is convenient, and he's got a lot of eyes on him, so that works out. With that being said, let's move on to this thing here I want to show you. Give me just a second. Okay, and we are back. So let me go ahead and open up Twitter. Okay, so we're here on Twitter. We're on the Yeats account. This is from March 7th, by the way, this particular post. And if I'm not completely incompetent, I might be able to make this full screen. Haha. Okay. So let me give you guys some particulars. This right here is Asmongold talking about speaking on the quote-unquote burnt peanut controversy and why burnt peanut is popular and what he draws from listening to and watching burnt peanut.
You gotta really feel bad for these people. What a fucking freak, bro. What a weird ass little freak. No, we bringing it back. The reason why I like Peanut, one of the reasons why I like him, is he represents the old gaming. This is the way, like, I'm sorry, but like if you play FPS games, like that is your guy. That is your guy. Like racist jokes, slurs, all kinds of like fucking politically incorrect comments. Like that's what it's about. Like that's what it's always been about. Like this is a cultural victory that we are bringing it back. I think that we are only, and I'm hopefully speaking this into existence. I want to be able to say slurs again. I do. I want to be able to. Like whenever I play an online FPS game and I can't use those words, I feel like a pit bull that's like, you know, like one of those pit bulls like out in the backyard. It's like chained to a pole. I can't go out there and maul the fucking infants, right? I can't go out there and bite the babies. Like I'm fucking mad, bro. I want to go out there. I want to say it. I want to let them know. Slur Sunday? Yeah, but the real ones. That's it. You done with midnight? Not yet. Not yet. Yeah, it's like you got a muzzle on. Exactly. I'm pissed, bro. I hate that.
There you go. So, there you go on that. All right. So let's go ahead and get ourselves back into position here. That's pretty funny, to be honest. Now, keep in mind, not everybody who played FPS games needs to go ahead and blurt out slurs. But if you want to say some bullshit, like, you know what I'm saying? If you want to say whatever you want to say, then say it. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. The thing is, though, is like in Call of Duty, you got to be careful because like their voice recognition will pick up on words and shit and get you kicked out or get you timed out or whatever. So anyway, so there's that. And so yet again, and that leads to DSP feeling more and more comfortable saying retard. He's starting to say monkey and ape and all this bullshit. He's starting to get more comfortable with it because he's trying to appeal to Asmongold. And more importantly, he's trying to appeal to Asmongold's audience. He's trying to get back into that Asmongold stimulus package. He's waiting for that second round of stimulus checks to come around, so to speak. So that's what he's shooting for. But that's my own personal theory on that. But yet again, that's what DSP is chasing. You know what I mean? DSP sits there and tells Wings, it doesn't matter about views, it doesn't matter about subs, it matters about this small demographic that will support you day in, day out, which is weird because if DSP says people like me watch him day in, day out, we're losers and we should get jobs. But DSP has dents and fucking reject. Well, those who are retarded, they can't really do anything, or they're physically and mentally disabled. They can't do anything. But for everybody else who are just fucking dents, who can go out and get jobs, they don't. They sit around all day watching him. So what does that make them? You know what I'm saying? When DSP can't name not one detractor who doesn't have a job, who doesn't have a career, who's not going to school. I can name quite a few dents who are literally unemployed. So, anywho, I just thought I'd bring that up. So, but the point of that is that what Wings wants, DSP wants it too. He just doesn't want to tell Wings that. He wants to show that he has an air of superiority. The reality is, and Wings has said this many times, he doesn't know what he can do, meaning Wings. He doesn't know what he can do to be popular. He doesn't know what he can do to bring attention to him and get back to where he was. Well, ladies and gentlemen, DSP has said the exact same shit. He just uses games as his median. I don't understand why this game is virally popular and no one will watch me play it. Or when he was crying and complaining like a bitch into the in Kino Casino's in those Discord messages or DMs, where he was crying, complaining about everything you guys do, man. It works out and it's great and people love it, but I can't, it doesn't work for me. He's done the exact same shit. And he trying to little brother Wings as if DSP's bitch ass hasn't been in that same position with fucking PPP and Andy, or anybody else for that matter. Who knows what all those DMs look like between him and Stuttering Craig? The first time around, I mean, not the second time. The second time, DSP was trying to make himself sound like some gouty supervillain who's finally gonna get his up and comings and shit, or whatever. So there you go on that. No one's popular for no fucking reason. There's clearly a reason why people like them, they gravitate to them, they're willing to spend time and money watching them. DSP and Wings have lost the plot. I think Wings might be a bit more he might have a bit more self-realization, but not by much. Wings realizes that he is hated for the shit that he said, and he's just not man enough to own it. And when he does own it, it's half-hearted. He's not actually being truthful about the shit. I'm not expecting him to castrate himself. Well, he's already done that, but I'm not expecting him to castrate himself in front of people or prostrate himself? No, castrate, that'll work. I don't expect him to crucify himself. We'll say that. That works a little easier for me, even though I don't think the cross would be able to hold him either which way. But I'm not asking him to crucify himself in front of people and shit to show that he feels bad. But it's clear that he don't feel bad. He just feels bad that he has to suffer. Suffer, Wings, suffer. And that's all that ever is going to be. It is what it is. Tough titty. And that's that. So DSP going off on that rant about that, I'm going to do that video too. DSP going off on that rant is kind of useless. You know, you're wasting your time. But yet again, it stems from the fact that DSP was never popular himself. You know what I mean? Like I said, and the only reason why he went to YouTube was he wanted to try to stick it to the FGC. You know what I mean? And he also realized he can make money off this shit. And that's why his PayPal has been on his channel since day one, damn near. But outside of that, he was trying to stick it to the FGC. He was trying to prove that, hey, you guys never took me seriously, but I can go over here and I can get popular. And I am popular, and people do value me, and they do appreciate what I say, and they do think I'm intelligent or meaningful or entertaining or whatever the fuck. That's all this is. And when other detractors later on, later generations, I should say, of detractors, trolls, haters, and critics look back, they'll prove me right. That, hey, DSP did this whole YouTube thing out of an ego shit. He wanted to prove to the FGC that he wasn't the loser that they made him out to be. And what did DSP actually prove? As much as they thought he was a weirdo and a pedophile in the FGC, we think the exact same thing about him. And DSP keeps proving it. So, amongst other things. So that's the reality of the situation. It's just two losers crying and complaining about what they used to have, and they didn't appreciate it when they had it. Now that they don't have it, they feel like it's been taken away from them. It wasn't. You let it slip. Sucks to suck. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it. Catch you guys for the next one of these, whenever that may be, hopefully sooner than later. I'm recording all this stuff in batches, so I need to get back in the routine. And hopefully by the time you guys see this, I would already have done another stream, or I'm about to stream. So we'll see. But so check that out if that's something you guys are interested in. Anyway, people, this has been, I'll name this segment later, GTG Spits That Grease, so on and so forth. And I'll catch you guys for the next one of these. Later, people. Oh.